All right, let's dive into something truly chilling today. We're going to break down the story of Mahal, the Blood Mansion. It's a place with a reputation, a place where stories and the people who chase them just vanish. We're going to peel back the layers of this haunting and really look at the anatomy of its terrifying curse. And we have to start right here with this absolutely bone-chilling warning from the house's caretaker. This one sentence sets up everything. It's the central conflict right there in front of you, free will versus a place that has a will of its own. It's less of a warning and more like a prophecy, isn't it? So let's get into section 1. This is where it all kicks off, and honestly, it's a classic horror setup. We're going to look at the crew, the red flags they absolutely should have seen, and how their ambition drove them to ignore every single one of them. So who are our players? First up, we have Maya. She's the leader, laser-focused on winning an award, and pretty much blind to any danger. Then there's her sister, Riva, who's the total opposite. She's like our emotional canary in a coal mine. She feels the wrongness of this place from the get-go. And finally, Samir, the cameraman. He's the practical one, and the first thing he notices, no cell service. A classic sign that they are completely, utterly cut off. You can literally watch them walk into the trap, step by step. First, they just blow off the local villagers who were telling them about this weird, lingering shadow. Then they ignore the caretaker's direct prophecy. And finally, Maya herself, in this act of total arrogance, forces the gate open. Every single step is a choice, sealing their fate before they even set foot inside. Okay, so they're in, and this is where the house starts to, well, show itself. But it doesn't begin with a big jump scare. No, it starts with these subtle, deeply creepy clues that tell you something is fundamentally wrong with this place. And what's so brilliant here is how each of these details is designed to build this specific kind of psychological dread. The dead silence, that sudden drop in temperature, those are signs that the basic laws of nature just don't apply here. And that portrait, with the kids' faces scratched out but the mother's eyes following them, that makes it personal. The house itself feels hostile. And now we hit section 3. This is where the house just drops the act. The subtle creepiness gives way to open aggression. The trap has been sprung. This is the turning point. They find this one room, paint it this deep, blood red, the very one the caretaker warned them about. And from underneath the door, this thick black ooze starts seeping out. It crawls across the floor, spreads up the doorframe like living veins. This is the first undeniable supernatural event, the house showing its corruption. Of course, their first instinct is to get the heck out, but it's too late. The house is in control now. The main door is sealed shut. The back door feels like it's been welded from the outside. And when Samir tries to smash a window with a heavy pot, it just bounces off. Not a single scratch. They're not visitors anymore. They're prisoners. And then it starts talking to them. A little kid's giggle echoes through the halls, and then it says this. It takes a children's game, something innocent, and turns it into this terrifying threat. The horror is now playing with them, taunting them with this promise of forever. So, up until now, it's just been pure terror. But in section 4, they start to move from just being scared to actually understanding what's happening. They start to figure out the rules of this nightmare they're trapped in. This is genuinely one of the most frightening reveals. Samir is playing back the camera footage, right? And what he sees is not what they experienced. In their reality, they were alone, but the camera shows the truth. There was this tall, twisted figure stalking them, just inches behind Riva the whole time. The camera is seeing a layer of reality that's completely invisible to them. So in a desperate search for a way out, they find a hidden trapdoor. But what's waiting for them downstairs isn't freedom. It's the engine room of the curse. The basement is basically a shrine, and its shelves are lined with hundreds and hundreds of tiny clay dolls. And these aren't just decorations. Every single doll is a past victim, labeled with a name and a year. This isn't just one ghost story. It's a history of systematic trapping. And then comes the absolute gut punch. They find 3 new, unfinished dolls with pieces of their own clothing on them. The caretaker wasn't a guardian. She was a predator, preparing her next trophies. And this is where it all clicks into place. This isn't your average haunting. Mahal is a living, parasitic entity. The house itself is the monster, and it literally feeds on people's stories, their memories, their fear. And it doesn't just trap them in a place, it traps them in a loop of time. Just when you think it can't get any more hopeless,
They find a register, like a ledger of victims, and on the last page are their names. But look at this. It lists their individual fates, what the house will take from each of them, and the dates haven't even happened yet. Their doom isn't just certain, it's already been recorded. And then the house demonstrates its absolute power. As Samir reaches for that horrifying book, he watches his own hands start to fade into nothing. He isn't being killed, he's being erased. The house is literally deleting him from existence right in front of them. And that brings us to the devastating end. Section 5 reveals the final brutal theme of this whole story. You don't escape this curse. You don't beat it. You simply become the next part of it. Maya doesn't get erased. Her fate is somehow so much worse. The house doesn't just steal her future, it transforms her. She awakens, suddenly aged, an old woman. She has become the new caretaker, the very monster she was warned about. And just like that, the cycle resets. The now elderly Maya hears a car pull up. It's a new crew, young, ambitious, armed with better gear, probably wanting to make a viral video. The exact story we just witnessed is about to begin all over again. And her final words, they're not a warning, they're an invitation. She's no longer Maya. She is now an agent of the house, a lure for the trap, forced to repeat the same prophecy that once sealed her own fate. Which leaves us with this final, truly haunting question. The house feeds on stories, but it consumes the storytellers to get them. It builds its own legend by destroying anyone who tries to capture it. Does that mean the hunger of Rakt Mahal is eternal? Just a loop that never ever ends?